Hello and welcome to another Tech Talk brought to you by the Albert Lea Public Library. Today we are going to be talking about tablets. Tablets are very popular as either a replacement or an addition to someone's technology suite. And so I'm just going to kind of talk about what they are, some features of tablets, and then talk about what you should look for in a tablet, whether you're buying your first one, you're looking to replace a tablet you already have, just things to look at when you're considering different tablets. So tablets have been around since about 2010. Essentially, a tablet is a portable PC or personal computer that runs solely on a touch screen, and that touch screen occupies the full length or width of the device. They are not positioned for handheld calling, although on some devices you are able to make calls, but not, holding the device in your hand up to your head like you would with a smartphone. So they kind of combined aspects of smartphones and laptop PCs, but in a unique way that is all on a touch screen. Tablets are they're compatible with wireless networks, so any Wi-Fi network. And then there's an optional compatibility with cell data networks for some tablets that you can purchase if that is important to you. So there are a ton of different tablets on the market, and especially now, a lot more manufacturers are making different tablets. So there isn't a best recommendation for a tablet. That's not what I'm going to give you here. I'm going to give you some tips when you're thinking about which tablet should you buy. So you need to consider your needs. The first question to ask is, what will be the primary use for the tablet? Are you looking for a tablet to replace a computer? Are you looking for a tablet to take with you when you travel? Are you looking for a tablet that you can, use in your living room or dining room and still have a desktop computer at home? Are you looking for a tablet that has great, functionality for word processing and things like that? Are you looking mostly for one for games or for reading? There's a whole host of reasons why someone might be looking to purchase a tablet. And so you want to think about what you're going to use it for, because that's going to determine what you're going to look for in a tablet. So for instance, if you're looking for a tablet that's mainly for reading or games, your needs are going to be very different than if you're looking for a tablet that's going to function very similar to a personal computer so that you can maybe get rid of a laptop. So all those things kind of go into purchasing a tablet. And then the second thing to think about is an operating system. And this goes hand in hand with the primary use of your tablet. So the main tablet operating systems are Android and iOS. So Android works with the Google apps, so Google Play Store, Google Drive, Gmail. The Kindle Fire also runs off Android, but it's a different looking Android system. So it's a little bit different. Amazon has its own app store. It's a version of Android. If you have an Android-based telephone, you might be more comfortable with an Android-based tablet, as it's going to sync up pretty well. You could have them, so any app that you download on your phone, you get on your tablet and vice versa. So that's something to consider. iOS is Apple's operating system for their mobile devices, for their iPhones and iPads. If you strictly use Apple computers or you have an iPhone, you may want to consider an iPad. If you're looking for something that's going to closely monitor a computer, you might consider an iOS versus an Android. That's a personal preference, depending on what you're comfortable with. And now there are Windows tablets, and so this is like the closest that you can get to a traditional computing experience. So if you're looking for a tablet to just replace computers that you use, you may want to consider a Windows tablet if you've been using Windows computers in the past. It runs full versions of software. The only real difference is it's a touch screen and it's more portable, so it's a smaller screen than what you might get on a desktop computer. But those exist, such as a Windows Surface Pro. There's a couple other versions out now. So just some things to consider when you're purchasing a tablet. And it's really all going to come down to what you're going to use it for. You could ask 5 people what tablets they use or what they use them for, what they like about your tablet. You're going to get totally different answers because everyone uses their tablets for different purposes. And then some other things that you want to consider, once you figure out what you're going to use it for, you need to consider kind of other features that might be important to you. So one is the screen size. Some tablets you can get a 7-inch screen size. That's still pretty small, but if you're looking for a tablet where you can mainly read books on it, a 7-inch screen might suit you just fine, especially considering the portability of it. Resolution. So tablet, really the minimum resolution is 1280 by 800 pixels, but a 1080 pixel or higher is going to be much better. So again, if you're looking for something for reading, the resolution isn't as important. But if you're looking for something where you can look at photos, go on the internet, maybe stream television shows or movies, then you're going to want to look at the pixel resolution and pick something maybe a little bit higher quality. Horsepower, this is the speed of the tablet. So the more horsepower, generally the faster the tablet is. And they last a little bit longer, so it's a little bit faster, so you don't have to wait for things, and there's not like a lag time. So that's something to consider as well. Again, not as important if you're just looking at it for games or reading, but something to definitely consider, especially if you're looking to replace a computer with a tablet. You're going to want something that's pretty fast so you don't get frustrated with it. And then I kind of mentioned this before, but you'll need to decide whether Wi-Fi connection is fine. Is that enough for you? Or do you think you're going to need that cell network compatibility? Some tablets, you can buy versions that you can add on to a cell phone plan to have the cell network compatibility on it. So for instance, you can buy different iPads. You could buy a Wi-Fi only iPad, or you could buy the iPad that has the cell network capability. You don't have to activate it right away. So if you have a tablet that has a cell network compatibility, you don't have to activate it, but the option's there. So if you know you're going on a trip for a month and you need that, you could pay for a month and then, get with a cell phone company that has monthly plans available for that. The majority of people, Wi-Fi only is fine with them. A lot of public places now have Wi-Fi available, but just think about whether the cell network compatibility is important to you. And then storage space. This will depend again on what you're using it for, but keep in mind, the more storage space, probably the longer the tablet will last. In terms of storing documents, photos, videos, things on it. Books take up relatively little space on a tablet, and generally you could delete it after you're done reading it. But apps take up a lot of storage space, so if you're mainly going to play different games on it, you might want to consider a little bit higher storage space, so you have room for all those apps. If you're totally replacing your computer, then you're definitely going to want to consider a higher storage limit. And some tablets have the ability to plug in or put in an SD card, so you have more memory available. Some don't, so that's something to look at as well if that's important to you. So those are kind of the main things to think about when you're considering purchasing a tablet. and features to look at within, the parameters of what you're looking for. So this is not an exhaustive list by all means. There are plenty of tablets out there, but I wanted to kind of give you the names of some of the most popular tablets so you have an idea of what you might be looking at. So the iOS operating system, those are going to be the Apple iPads. They have a couple versions, the Air or Pro. Android-based, you can have the Galaxy tablets. And those are Samsung tablets, so those run on Androids. There's a couple other makers, manufacturers of tablets that make Android-based tablets. Galaxy is probably the most popular one that you may have heard of or seen. Amazon Fire tablets, as I mentioned, those run on Android, but it's a very modified version of Android, so it doesn't necessarily mirror other devices. Something to consider with the Amazon Fire tablets is it's not really going to sync up with the phone. So if you're using a Android-based phone, is that important to you, or do you just want a tablet to play some games on and read? Microsoft tablets, the most popular that you've seen probably is the Surface Pro. And then Chromebook is starting to have tablets, and that is a Google-based product. So this concludes our Tech Talk on tablets. Again, as I mentioned, it's not a recommendation because if you're considering purchasing a tablet, your purchasing decision is going to be based on what you're going to use the tablet for and then what features are important to you. So I hope this was helpful if you're considering purchasing a tablet or if you just wanted to know a little bit more about what's out there. So that when you are ready to purchase a tablet, or just having the knowledge of the differences in tablets and why different tablets work better or worse for different people based on the functionalities and really the heart of the matter, what they are used for. So we'll be back in 2 weeks on the third Wednesday in December for another Tech Talk on a different topic.